Alright, it seems like for every tool there's one fun, quick project to make. And for this one, we're going to make the boredom grinder. This is a compound miter saw, and if I set the degrees to 15, I can go ahead and with a few quick cuts I can have a lot of fun. We're going to cut 4 different blocks, and each block is going to have a 15-degree bevel on both sides. So, 1, 2, 3. Now, we need to make sure that that bevel is the same both directions. 1, 2, Now, while we're at it, we're going to need a little piece of wood, and it's going to need to be beveled both directions. This is the spot where you got to be careful here. We're going to set this about like so. And we are ready. These blocks are going to be set down on a small piece of plywood for a base. And that should more or less finish all the cuts that we need to make up. I want this piece cut in half though. And it's time for glue. Last time I said I'd get a new bottle of glue, and I did get a new bottle of glue. It's amazing what a new bottle of glue can do. Okay, look to find all 4 corners that are beveled. And what this is going to make is a twin dovetail slide. And these are going to space it to make sure that we space those dovetails at the proper dimensions. Now, we do not want to get any glue onto that sliding piece of wood. So, right here, lots of good wood glue. Don't skimp. 1, 2. Okay, leave just enough room that this can slide back and forth. And we're going to take that, and we've got to put it in this way. Three. And I have a second one I can use over here. And I have all 4 laid out. Alright, now we got everything clamped up here to dry, and one thing you need to make sure of when you're clamping it up, this piece needs to be able to slide right across evenly between the dovetails, and this piece needs to be able to slide across between the dovetails as well. That's going to be essential when we get everything ready to go. We should have let that sit long enough now, so we're going to go ahead and take our clamps off. And in the meantime, I've got our filler blocks just almost ready to go. It's going to be just a little bit of finishing touches we've got to put on them. These are just maybe 1 3/4 inches long. They're not very long. Okay, those 4 little bevels should let it run a lot smoother here. And these pieces are going to come over into here. They'll slide back and forth in the slots, and we'll use the crank to make it work. Okay, the best way to get this done now is to set these about a ½ an inch apart from each other down at the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and make a couple of marks and put everything in place. Okay, right here and right here. We're going to put that down onto the handle right there and right there. And that's where we're going to pin things in position. Quick drill on the handle. Pre-drill on the blocks so they don't split. And before we attach everything, we're going to do a little more cutting over here with our big saw. Okay, we don't want to make it ugly, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it square. Remember, you can always cut more off. It's hard to cut more back on. And now, just because I feel like it, I'm going to knock a couple of beveled edges onto it and set my saw at 45 degrees. Miter 1. Miter 3. Miter 4. One more for good measure. And a pinch to grow an inch.
Okay.
Alright, now we'll go ahead and attach our handle. I'm going to stick a screw on there so we can turn it easier. And if I had a little more, if I was a little fancier, I'd probably put something on the end of the screw to make it a little fancier as well. Okay, I grabbed a screw that's a little bit too long. Let's take a couple of these shorter ones. They'll be a little better for this. And they'll go in right like so. Now you don't want to tighten them up all the way. You want to leave a little bit of slop on them so that everything can move nicely. And there we are. We have just created a boredom grinder. Some people call it a do-nothing. And that's because it doesn't do nothing. It just goes round and round and round.